My name is Amy Rodden. I am a sociology and American studies major, and I also have minors in psychology and social justice. I'm currently an intern at the Philadelphia Zoo in their public programs education department. So some of the jobs and responsibilities that I have as an intern include animal observation, as well as raising awareness and education of the guests that attend the zoo. So we have, not all of the interns, but most of us have a particular project that we chose for ourselves. So I actually observed the southern white-faced owl, but in addition to that, if the zoo requires any kind of further, I guess, observations or anything like that, like recently we had to observe the sea otters because there was an issue in the tank. So we do that, and then, but we all just, we observe the whole time. The best thing is the education that I received just from having to tell other people random facts about animals. And the worst part is probably that I don't get to really interact with the animals. You get to sit there and you get to look at all these really cool things where you don't get, I mean, obviously there's very serious reasons as to why, but that'd probably be the worst part. I just really want to pet a tiger like, more than anything else. And then sometimes guests can be not the most pleasant of people, but usually, I mean, you're at the zoo, you're having a good time, so that was always helpful. So it depends where I stand when I'm observing particular animals. So for example, if you're observing lions, you're obviously not in the exhibit with them, but for like baby Galapagos tortoises, you just hang out with them. And I mean, I picked them up and fed them. That's kind of cool. So luckily, sociology was the major that I had to have the internship for, and I just made it applicable. So I had to sit down with my department head and a few other professors in my department and talk to them about how I would make it sociological. So I talked about the structures of the zoo, the rules that we adhere to, the ways in which hierarchies are formed and destroyed, new policies. We can also talk about any kind of social movements that's happened, so obviously like animal welfare, that gets really big, so just to apply sociology to that is how I went about it. The skills that I acquired at the zoo that I think will help further my career or just, prove to be worthwhile in the future. The biggest one would be public speaking. Talking to guests and explaining things to all different types of people is a challenge, and then being able to actually get that message across to various different types and kinds of people is pretty impressive and a good thing to be able to do. So a lot of other people will say, especially guests, will ask a lot of questions about what it's like to intern at the zoo, how they go about doing it, what kind of privileges you'll get from it, and how it, is either helping me or bringing me somewhere different than where everybody else is going. Definitely in my department, I stood out a lot because we're sociology and criminology. A lot of people were going into different types of field works, like criminal justice wise. We had a lot of people that interned with different police stations. A lot of courts were involved in other places of interns. But I mean, just to say that you worked at the zoo kind of stands out on its own. I think that my job is interesting because of the different array of animals that I get to experience, the information that I get to know about all of them. I mean, mostly it's useless, but it's still kind of cool just to have in your back pocket in case anybody wants to know a random fact about an orangutan. I got it. So the application process was kind of simple. I just logged onto the website, the Philadelphia Zoo website, and they had a bunch of different jobs listings as well as internship applications. So that was simple. It was just pretty much a form. And then I went in for an interview with Laura Houston, who was the director of public programs at the zoo. And that went off really well. She pretty much told me then that I had it. And then after that, yeah, that was, I mean, I got an email just confirming that I had it, so I went for it. I mean, it was kind of simple, and it seemed like it was going to be fun, and it is, so that worked. So after I graduate in May, ideally, luckily, I haven't done any of this yet, but hopefully I'm going to be doing a year of service, and actually, as irrelevant as being at the zoo may have seemed for my majors and minors and all that wonderful stuff, I think I really want to go into work either in environmental science or animal welfare.